Hello there, I'm Jade Bolden and I am a holistic health educator. I help people all over the world feel empowered to create good health in their mind, their body and their spirit. In today's presentation, we're going to talk about girl power, awakening women to their divine power. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about because I work with lots of women who have forgotten that they have this power within. And also I have 4 daughters, so I want them to grow up feeling empowered. So the objective of this presentation is to awaken women to their true divine identity, potential and power, so they can find happiness and joy and fulfillment. And once they find that, they will be empowered women who can change the world for good. Okay, so let me start with sharing with you a poem. Okay, this is a section of a poem, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Okay, all true trophies of the ages are from mother love impearled, for the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. Isn't that wonderful? It's just so true. We can change the world, okay, and do it in a beautiful but powerful way, okay? There's lots of things we want to help change in the world, right? And we can do this together when we find our truth and light. Let's talk about ruling the world. Well, we really don't want to necessarily rule the world so we can be popular and powerful. We just want to influence the world for good so there is more peace and prosperity, right? And we can change that. So here's a picture of a woman. Her name is Cornelia. Okay, so during the time of Rome, so maybe around 300 BC. Okay, and Cornelia at that time, she had 12 children and 3 of her children survived. So at that time, having 12 children in her community, society was unusual, okay? And then her husband actually died early, right? So the story is that in this ancient Roman city, there were groups of women and with their vanities showing off their jewels to each other. And among them was this lady named Cornelia, the lady in the blue. A woman asked her, "And where are your jewels?" Right? They like to show off their vanity, right? And to which she responded, pointing to her sons, "These are my jewels." Okay, so under her tutelage and walking after the values and virtues of her life, they grew up to be Gaius and Tiberius Gracchus, and they were called the Gracchus brothers, but they became the most persuasive and effective reformers of Roman history. Okay, for as long as they are remembered and spoken of, the mother who reared them after the manner of her own life will be remembered and spoken of and praised. Cornelia supported her sons throughout their career, and even after their death, she continued to be the light and the example of virtue. She was a woman with light and soul. She had light and soul to give to her children. So in order to have light and soul to give to her children, she must obtain it first through her own study and self-discovery. This is a powerful story and an example of how much we women can do to change and influence the world. What are the common issues facing our girls and women today? So I thought about that, made a big long list and simplified it to 5 areas. The first is we just live below our potential and privilege. Okay, we feel unhappy, stifled, suppressed, and unempowered, feel insecure and have poor boundaries, and have an unbalanced energy exchange, overworked, overwhelmed, over-servicing, and over-nurturing people, right? And then we have relationship concerns where we attract the wrong partner perhaps, and we have needy people needing us too much. Even though we know that we have these concerns, how do we change it? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today, all right? So first of all, let's talk about taking our power back. All right, so look at that picture of the dog, grrr, right? It is so easy to be the hurt dog that bites back, okay? But it doesn't help with anything when we try to hurt others. Sometimes we're mad and we're offended, and then we just think, oh, those people, they're annoying or whatever, okay? But that doesn't help any, okay? So let's change the way we approach our situations. So let's make a rule: no more blaming, complaining, whining, anger, being unforgiving, and ugliness and incivility, and no retaliation. Okay, let's decide on doing that right now. Okay, we need to own our own power. Now, let me tell you something. This is the truth. The hurt and offense we feel is oftentimes evidence of some truth reflecting back at us. Okay, it serves as an opportunity to realign ourselves for progression. All right, so let's stop giving away our power, all right, through all those things that we do. And if situations appear, they're reflecting back to us opportunities for us to change. Okay, see it as that. Okay, and then you will see the truth. So if someone said something that hurt your feelings, okay, ask yourself deep down, is that a false belief that I have inside? Okay, did it trigger something inside that's true? Because if it wasn't true, I wouldn't feel that pain, right? Or that discomfort. So let's talk about taking back this power. How do we do that? So with my videos and my lessons, you have probably seen this tree before, and I will continue to share with you this tree. This is a very easy but powerful way of recognizing and owning our own power. Okay, so if we feel something on the surface, we try to make some action or do something from that feeling. If you're feeling angry, you might say mean things, right? And then the result is not ideal. And we continue to try to fix the results, try to, get somebody else to change. But really, we have the power to change when we go under the surface, okay, into the subconscious and correct our thoughts and realign our beliefs again to God. All right, I'll give you an example of what that looks like in a minute. But make sure that you take 100% responsibility for your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, and your feelings. So whatever you feel, you created it. Okay, you're not a victim to it. You actually did create it. So whatever we think and believe, we create feelings that reflect it. Okay, so if you're going to fix something like a tree, an actual tree, you need to fix it at the root. Okay, otherwise we're going to repeat the same problems. So make sure you are aware of false beliefs, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. Just take a moment, pause, ask yourself some questions, and then you will be aware. You have the ability, everyone has the ability to be still enough to hear truth, okay? Be honest with yourself and vulnerable. And what that word really means is it can be painful as we face truth, as we allow the emotions and feelings and energy to pass through us. We must let it pass through us. It's part of being human, okay? And then it passes, all right? But we can't ignore it because feelings buried alive will never die. So we use essential oils to unveil and help ourselves be receptive to truth. Unveiling means just opening your eyes, opening your ears, opening your heart to truth, that's all. And the essential oils are very powerful and they can help us with that. I love using the frankincense or the copaiba, the black pepper and pink pepper for this activity. Okay, make sure you get very pure essential oils. Okay, and I love the doTERRA brand essential oils because they are the only brand that I trust. So let's talk more about what these oils can do to help us unveil and be receptive to truth. All right, so let's talk about frankincense. Frankincense, as you use it, you can apply it to your forehead, you can apply it to your ears, you can apply it to the back of your neck, okay? And allow it to open up your mind, okay? So when you use it enough, allow it to help you understand that you're a beloved, intelligent, important daughter of God. When you awaken to that truth, you know who you are and you know the value of you, okay? You have a divine nature, and an eternal destiny for great joy. You're heading towards joy. You're rigged and programmed for joy, for great joy. You just have to trust and allow yourself to be guided towards that end, okay? So copaiba is another oil. You can use it internally, you can use it topically, you can smell it, okay? I would use it in all the ways possible so I can awaken to this truth. But this oil helps you open up to see that you're unique, that you have unique qualities, gifts, and talents, okay? That you have to see yourself, okay? You have power to create your life. You need to see, unveil and see that you can do this, right? And all things are consecrated for your own good, all right? So if you still feel like it's you against the world, keep using this and you will see that you have more power than you realize. Okay, so black pepper helps you love yourself unconditionally, even with all the weaknesses. I don't know why in the world we create conditions. We love according to the measures of the world. I only love myself and happy and praising myself if I can be perfect, which isn't something that we can achieve today, right? All right, so black pepper, take it internally, smell it, apply it to your bottom of your feet, okay? It helps you allow yourself to be refined by your darkness. So what that means is as you face the dark side of you, you will find that you aren't that different to other people. Sometimes we believe the lie that if other people see the true self that we are inside, that they won't like it. It's too dark and it's too ugly and it's different to other people, okay? They'll be really disappointed if they really knew the real side of you. But look, we all have a dark side and we all have the same struggles. And when you open up, you realize you're not so different to everyone else. We all have the same fears, okay? Then you can see yourself for who you really, really are, okay? So pink pepper, use it the same way as black pepper, internally on the bottom of your feet, diffusing it. It helps you stop comparing yourself with others, okay? There's no competition. You just need to be better than yourself from yesterday, okay? Today, you just need to be better than you were yesterday. So seek for God's love so you can love yourself more fully. You can love yourself the way God loves you. And that's truth, okay? And you can, you get to define who you are. You have the power to define you and whatever it is that you are in this world, okay? So it gives you power, right? It helps you stay focused on what is most important and not get distracted by comparing yourself unnecessarily, okay? So try to use these oils on a regular basis and allow yourself to know truth and unveil your eyes to see truth. Let's look at this tree and let's see a negative example. A negative example is something that resulted negatively. So the negative result is we're not talking. My partner and I, we're not talking. Okay, whether it's your friend or your husband, whatever. Okay, we're not talking right now. Why? Well, we had an argument, okay, and it wasn't pretty. Well, we had an argument because we feel hurt, offended, and unwanted, okay? And, deep down inside, if you were honest with yourself and you dug deep, the thoughts were, I'm not as smart as him. I'm not good enough. He thinks I'm not good enough. Whatever, okay? But it's really me that doesn't think I'm good enough, right? And the belief is, I have to fight. I have to fight for who I am. I am not worthy of blessings such as love and respect. Because you feel like it's all you. You're drawing it from you, okay? And you're trying really hard, but it's still all you because you're not anchored in a foundation of God, with God, okay? You're anchored in actually a sandy foundation. So let's change that up and have a positive example here, right? So this person, the result is they're happy. You see people who are happy and you're like, how did they get that? How did they achieve that? What's their secret? Okay, so the action that led to that happy family is they get along, they communicate often. The feelings is they feel respected and understood. So feeling respected and understood didn't just bing happen. Okay, something happened in the subconscious, okay, that has created the feelings of respect and understood. So this person, she feels equally important and intelligent as her husband or as her boyfriend or whatever, okay? And she thinks that we will understand each other. When we speak, we will understand each other. But deep down, the belief where she started from was, I am a beloved, important child of God, right? I am deserving of a wonderful life. And when she believes that, she will think to herself, I'm equally important to everyone else, okay? So when we speak to each other, we understand each other, we hear each other, okay? It's just how it is. I expect that, right? And then, of course, when you have those thoughts and beliefs, it produces good feelings. I feel respected because guess what? She respects herself and she understands herself. She can communicate to others well. She's clear on what she wants, okay, and who she is. And of course, when you're clear, you can communicate better and people understand you better and we get along, okay? And then we have this beautiful, happy family. So can you see that it all starts in the root, right? We really need to establish the root. And sometimes we don't know what to change in the root. So that's why we look at the fruits first and then we go backwards, okay? So that's what I do in my work, okay? Help women dig down to the root of things. Let's talk about living below potential and privilege. What do I mean by that? Well, why do women in the world allow themselves to be rained on? Okay, all the negative things happen and it's just one thing after the next. Why? Why do we let that happen? Okay, so why do we suffer and, remain a martyr? Okay, because we compromise too much. We were okay with mediocrity and martyrdom. Okay, we feel drained and stuck and confused and we can't find solutions. Then we end up being needy when we don't even realize that. Okay, help, solution out there somewhere. I'm looking high and low out there, but not inside here. All right, and we think it's all on me. Okay, I have to take care of it. It's all me. Okay, and then of course you feel overwhelmed because you're drawing from your own energy. Okay, and you feel guilty taking time out for yourself. Okay, if you take care of yourself, if you take time to do something for yourself like personal development, you feel kind of bad, right? You're programmed to feel guilty, and then you settle for the status quo. And not allowing yourself to dream bigger and higher. Oh no, because I have kids. Oh, because this. I want to, and wish I could, but no, I can't because. Okay, so you're settling. That's settling, and we settle for low pay in work, career, and business. All of this is because we have unclear understanding of our worth, our value, and our potential, because we don't know our identity. We don't know who we are yet. Okay, and then there's other reasons that stem from that too. So, as you hear me speaking this, do you recognize yourself in this situation? So this here is the fruit and the actions, okay, on the surface, right? We don't change it here. We change it in the subconscious. Okay, so what is the reason for living below our potential and privilege? Well, there's social and cultural limitations and lack of role clarifications. Okay, so what I mean is sometimes we come into a relationship with other people, say a marriage, and we have expectations. Okay, we have not clarified our expectations. For example, some cultures think women's supposed to do dishes and household chores and the cooking, and the guys don't do that. Okay, some cultures believe that women should be soft-spoken and quiet and submissive and self-sacrificing and overly selfless, that men drive and women, let men do the talking, and there's certain roles that only men can do. We can actually be gentle yet powerful. We can be beautiful yet have a strong personality. We should never let other people define us. The other reason is maybe because we didn't have good role models, or we didn't look for good role models or coaches of happy and powerful and successful women. There have always been strong, powerful, successful women, but we didn't look for them, okay? Didn't know to, all right? We have unclear identity and underdeveloped personalities. That's the reason why we live below our privileges and potential. We just don't know what's out there that we could have. We have low expectations and standards for ourselves, and then we are distracted by not focusing on the joy and happiness and divine peace. We just haven't chosen it, that's all. I watched a powerful interview of an African woman. When she was younger, a lady from America came to her village and asked her and the other girls what they wanted. And she was shocked because no one has ever asked her what she wanted. Okay, it wasn't in her culture. And she thought about it and she answered, and she said she wants to go to school. Okay, and the lady said, then do that. Okay, and it took her 9 years to graduate from high school. She had to retake the test over and over to pass the high school exams, but she finally did. And she applied to colleges in the US and she got in. When she got in, she was already married at that time. She had children. She brought her children to the US and she worked, took care of her children, and continued to go to school. She not only finished a bachelor's degree, but she continued and finished a master's degree. All that time, she was struggling to feed her children and pay tuition. She was successful nonetheless in the end. And when she returned to Africa, she helped her community by helping with better farming techniques, and it changed the community what she did. So that's the story of a woman who became liberated from the limitations of her culture. So why do we feel unhappy, stifled, suppressed, and unempowered? I'll tell you now. It's because we are misaligned, and the way we try to solve it continued to perpetuate it. That's all. Because we've been too focused on what we don't want and distracted with fixing problems. We haven't intentionally defined our joy and therefore haven't focused on creating it. So we're trying to fix things that we don't like, okay, and getting distracted by it instead of choosing what joy we want and then focusing on creating that, because this discomfort and pain will go away when we follow that heart compass. Okay, we ignore the heart compass. It helps us know how to balance. Everyone in the world has this divine, powerful heart compass, whether we know it or not. We've always had it. It's always been there for us. Some of us haven't paid attention to that heart energy. Okay, it's intuition. It's the power within that drives us to find more joy. And many times we override that heart energy with our overthinking, and that's why we can't find solutions, because we're not listening, we're not feeling. It's always been there. And if we allow God to be in the center of our heart, that energy is magnified. Okay, and it will be more powerful than we realize. Okay, we don't need to rely on our limited knowledge to guide us. Our heart compass will help us find that balance. So when we are off track, we will feel that unhappiness and stifled and suppressed and unempowered. When we are on track, we will feel happiness, empowerment, and peace. We feel this divine discontent because we haven't made up our mind to live up to our privileges and potential. And all of us, every one of us, has that power, ability to choose that. Yes, it is difficult in some situations where you've had abuse and your family has generational issues where people don't choose happiness, okay? But we still can. And if you're watching this video, then you have chosen to step into your privileges and potential more than you realize. So let me share with you 2 video clips from the movie Joy Luck Club. Okay, this is about reclaiming the identity. So this lady Rose, she was feisty and sassy when she was dating her husband, and when they married, she started losing herself. In the first clip, you'll see how she struggles to make the simplest decisions. Okay, she's lost herself. She doesn't know what really makes her happy.
Honey, should we eat in or out tonight?
You decide.
Well, if we eat in, I've got lamb chops, or I could call Ernie's, or Square One.
Whatever you want. Really, it'll be great.
Okay. Didn't mean to interrupt your work. I'll figure something out.
You're not interrupting me. Really, I meant what I said. Oh, I want to hear what you want.
Because I could defrost a chicken if the lamb chops are too heavy. I mean, you've had a hard day. I don't really care. I just want you to be happy. Honey, what's wrong? Did I say something wrong?
It's just that once in a while, I would like to hear what you want.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'd like to hear your voice. Even if we disagree. It used to be different.
Different.
You used to have an opinion. We used to argue.
That's what you want? You want us to argue?
I want you to be here.
Honey, I'm here. I'm here for you. You just have to... Just tell me what you want. I told you, I'll do the chicken.
Are you happy?
Of course I am.
So how was that? It was pretty painful to watch this woman not know herself, not being able to make a decision, right? In this next clip, she and her husband have drifted apart and they're considering divorce. But she had a powerful conversation with her mum, and her mum woke her up to her power, her identity. She showed her an example of how her grandmother reclaimed her identity.
Rose, I'm standing out in the rain ringing the bell for 15 minutes. Are you okay? Honey? Are you okay? Honey?
Get out of my house. You heard me. Get out.
Honey, it's our house. We agreed to sell it. And that's why I'm here.
You're not taking my house. You're not taking my daughter. You're not taking any part of me. Because you don't know who I am. I died 60 years ago. I ate opium. And I died. For my daughter's sake. Now get out of my house.
I'm listening.
It's not your fault. None of it. I was the one who told you that my love wasn't good enough. That your love was worth more than mine. I was so full of shit.
What do you think? Did you enjoy that? There's a lot of times when we tell ourselves a lot of lies, okay, and we are off balance. Don't let that discontent in our heart be magnified, okay? Why do you think we have that discontent in the first place? Well, of course, under the surface, in the subconscious, we tell ourselves lots of lies, right? And we hear lies from society and we adopt it without thinking it through. Okay, so now it's time to comb through those things and identify the truth and throw out the lies. All right, so an example of a lie is boys are more important, culture of passing down the last name. Okay, the truth is women are equally important to God. So in that video clip, you see that she was lying to herself. He's more important, his work is more important. Don't worry about me, I'm good. All right, no, okay. There's a lie that different means less, different means not good. Okay, if you're different, right? But the truth is, women are intelligent children of God too. And each woman thinks differently. And we think differently to men, of course. And different is important and necessary. Okay, we need to be different, right? We don't need to be the same person. Lies we tell ourselves is women can't buy a car, they can't this, they can't that. I had a friend, she says she wants to buy a new car and she just doesn't know how. She needs a guy to help her. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? You know, just you speak English. Go out there and talk to a car salesperson. Do some research. But for some reason, she allows that cultural limitation to stop her, right? You can't do things without the protection and the help of men, right? Women can. And, you know, you have to tell yourself, I can do anything, right? The lie is, I'm not allowed to have what I want. It's selfish, right? A woman shouldn't do that because it's selfish. Well, I'm allowed to have what I want because it's self-love. Heavenly Father blesses me abundantly, and I show my gratitude by receiving, because I want my children, my girls and my boys, to open up their hands and their hearts to receiving everything that God wants to give them, okay? And not make that judgment that, oh, I'm no good, I'm not worthy, don't give me stuff. Okay, no. If God wants to give you stuff, receive, because that shows gratitude. The lie is, I'm forgotten, I'm last, I'm less than. Self-reduction is selflessness. No. The truth is, I am remembered and respected equally. Selflessness is about self-fulfillment and self-acceptance. So when you are fulfilled and you are fully accepting of yourself, you know who you are, you know your purpose, you're set, you're good. You can put yourself aside for a moment and serve others because you have spirit and a soul to give. You know, like the story of Cornelius, she has soul to give. She took care of herself and now she has a bucket full of light and soul and love to give to her children. Okay? So if you don't take care of yourself, you have nothing to offer. Your love is hollow. Okay? And it can never be satisfying to people. So the lie is someone else can do it better. The truth is we can be the example of happiness, power, and liberation. We can give license to our children to shine when we shine. Okay? If other people shine, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean much to your children. But when mom shines, right, that gives them hope that they can do it too. So, my friend, awaken to yourself, okay? There are people that you are meant to serve. They're your calling, okay? And there are people that you're not meant to serve. Sometimes women think men are jerks, unreliable, useless, untrustworthy. Okay, that's a lie, right? Men can love, respect, and treasure their women. So I do energy balancing sessions. I was helping a lady who was very frustrated with her teenage son. And she tells me, oh, I'm so mad at him. He's turning out to be like his father. He's so rude to me. He's unreliable. He's not trustworthy. And, you know, he just lies to me all the time. And I paused her and I asked her, what do you think about your husband? And she says, well, that's how I think about my husband. And I said, have you been feeding your children that lie? All right, all their life. They grew up thinking that their dad, who she divorced, you know, is a jerk, is unreliable, is useless. So this boy, he has this idea, and, you know, she's training him to see that men are this way. And he's a man, he's growing into a man. And so his subconscious is going to become that jerk, right? That useless person that she imagines men to be. So how on earth are we going to attract the lovely, respectful, men who treasure their women if we don't believe that they exist out there? I was very blessed to have a wonderful father who respected me and loved me, and who taught me what to expect in men. So when I married my husband, he wasn't a fixer-upper. So I'm really grateful for that. And I teach my girls that they should not settle for fixer-uppers. There are wonderful, capable men out there that they will naturally attract when they become that person who respects themselves, who is capable of love. You need to be the woman who is capable of love and praise and intelligent in order to attract that kind of person, right? So be careful what lies you feed yourself, because your subconscious will continue to find evidence to support those lies. Now, here's an activity for you. Develop your character. So develop your personality, have an opinion, have ideas, have a voice. Okay, sometimes people are so submissive, they don't know who they are, they don't know what they want. And there are people who are very dominant, and the dominant people, okay, sometimes produce submissive children, children who don't know who they are, who can't make decisions. Okay, so we need to have a balance. Ask yourself the question, what do I like and what don't I like? And be okay with the things you don't like. Tell people, I don't like that. Okay, how do you want to live your life? It took me a long time to figure out how I want to live my life, because I didn't know what I liked. So you might have to experiment. So I had to practice and figure it out. Sometimes you just have to try things out and decide whether you want to live that kind of life or not. Okay? And then you'll figure it out. Ask yourself, what are your passions, gifts, and talents? Okay? What is your purpose? All right? And when you discover your purpose, be confident in that. You need to be your best cheerleader in your purpose. What do you want in relationships, in career, in work, in health, in personal development? You might need to just pause and take a moment to design what it is that you want. So you're allowed to receive, gimme, 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 okay? Sometimes when you make decisions, you may discover that you have conflicting beliefs and thoughts inside. For example, if you like to be the damsel in distress, where your husband or spouse takes care of you because he's the knight in shining armor, right? So you are needy, right? But then you don't want to be needy, and you want to be that strong woman. But some part of you feel like you need to be the damsel in distress as well. Okay, so you can see that conflict, right? You need to make up your mind. Another example is motherhood and career. So sometimes we want both, and then we struggle because we discover a false belief that if you're a successful businesswoman or successful in your career, that you're not a good mum, okay? Or a good mum means that's all she does, okay? So you're faced with an opportunity to rewrite a belief. And the belief I rewrote is, I can be a successful mother and a successful businesswoman because I will show my children how to shoot for the stars, and I can help other people outside of my home. The activity that I'm about to do with you may be the most important activity of this whole presentation, so please pay attention. This activity helps you identify what your heart is attached to. So what our heart is attached to will cause stress and fear and worry for us, and sometimes it causes us to edge God out. We need to identify what our heart is attached to, because sometimes we are measuring our success and our worth and our happiness according to the world's measures. Okay, and you know that that measure is relative and insatiable. When we identify what our heart is attached to, then we can unattach and be liberated. We need to identify our values, things that are important to us, and understand really why they're important to us. Because sometimes we will discover that we are measuring against worldly measures in that area too. And this gives us an opportunity to define success. Okay, you can define your success in every area of your life. What does it mean to be a successful mother, wife, businesswoman, leader, or a daughter? When I was honest with myself, I asked myself, what does it mean to be a successful mother? As I did this activity, I learned some truths. So I asked myself, what is the definition of a successful mother? And I thought a successful mother gives her kids everything they want, help them with everything they need, help them be happy, help them be healthy all the time. And as I prayed about it and talked to God some more, I realized that was wrong. You know, the most important thing that my children can have is love. They need to feel loved because it is a reflection of the divine love from God. And when they feel loved, they feel connected to God and they can be guided. So my children are Heavenly Father's children as well. And He knows the path that they need to take. And sometimes in their path, they will find struggles and they will find sorrows. But it's not my job to bail them out all the time. Some days I have to let them struggle, you see. Some days I have to let them figure some things out on their own. So as a mum, my job is not to bail them out and stop them from feeling unhappy. My actual job is just to love them and share with them the divine love of God and help them recognize their heart compass and help them be obedient to that. If my kids don't do piano well or art well or sports well, it doesn't make me a bad mother. So the art and the sports and all those things, it is not a measure of how good I am as a mother. Just because my children have championships and things, it doesn't mean that that is the best definition of a successful mother. So I realized the definition of a successful mother is quite simple. So what's the definition of a good wife? Someone who's hot and sexy, who can cook amazing food, right? Maybe, maybe not. The best definition is a wife who is inspired by God, who is filled with love, who has love to give. Then I know how to serve my husband well and meet his needs according to the inspiration of God. Okay, so think about that. So here's an activity for you. Get a piece of paper, write your name in the middle, and write down around it all the things that you're attached to. Sometimes we're attached to being needed and being important, being loved. You know, we're attached to our goals and dreams and work and the kids, right? All of these things, pleasing people, looking good. So if we gain weight, we're so grieved, okay? And if we lose weight, we're not happy because we need to lose another pound, okay? The house, we want the house to be pretty and nice and clean, and you know, tomorrow we have to do it again because there's going to be dishes, there's going to be things to clean again. So we have the spouse, we want to be a supportive spouse. So these things, right, can cause us a lot of worry. Okay, it can give us a lot of joy, of course, but when we allow it to be attached to our hearts, unfortunately sometimes we edge God out. Okay, so how do we know what to take care of when? So if you were to have everything perfect, all of the things, your dreams, your goals, your kids, everything is perfect, then what? Are you going to be successful? Are you going to be happy? Chances are you're not happy, okay? Because true happiness actually comes from being one with the divine and acting from inspiration. At any one time, if any of these things are not quite perfect, quite right, you can't really be happy, truly, truly happy, right? And what I learned is if I cut or unattach myself from these things, and it's just me and it's just God, I surrendered it all. I surrendered it all on the altar. Everything goes back to God. My kids are on lend. My husband, my house is, everything's on lend. Everything is His. All back on the altar. Surrender all of that. I feel liberated because God will tell me what to focus on when. Okay, so if the children need me, if I need to go into work and I have to help a friend, what do I do? When? Okay, what is the right thing to do? Right? The only way I will know what the right thing to do is if I have God as the center. Okay, if we have Christ-centered heart, we'll know when to ignore this issue and help over here. Okay, when to take care of the children and when to let them, struggle and discover life on their own. Okay, we will know that balance perfectly well when we are totally unattached. Now, of course, you might be thinking, it's easier said than done, Jade. Yes, it is. We're humans and there's times that we will start attaching things again. But when those things weigh us down and we don't feel successful, then we need to hand it back, cut and hand it back to God again and say, okay, so here's how I learned to be unattached. It is very liberating. Finally. Okay, so happiness and fulfillment doesn't come from everything being perfect, okay? It comes from divine progression. Divine progression comes from being one with divinity. Being unattached means letting God call the shots, okay? He will inspire you to know what to do. Answer only to God, okay? Act when you're prompted. Surrender it all on the altar, okay? All your worries and fears. It's all on loan anyways. Give it back and then He will give it back as you need it, okay? And put whatever you need back on the altar, okay? Take one thing off at the altar at a time. When we're unattached, we hope for the best, but still be okay with whatever the results and the outcomes might be. When we learn to unattach, we will stop holding on to the fears and we can allow love and hope and peace in as we serve daily. Another issue that women face is insecurity and poor boundaries. Insecurity and poor boundaries is actually an identity issue. What I mean by identity issue is we haven't developed our identity very well. We haven't developed our personality well. Okay, so make sure when you develop your personality that you fulfill your fundamental human needs with God first. So that means you feel loved and belonging and important and you have that autonomy, the power to choose and certainty and uncertainty with God. Develop a strong identity. Along the way, you will learn to be self-accepting and have more self-love. That means you will develop a more positive self-talk. Identify what you are comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. And then when you know that, you can communicate that better. Honor your power of choice. And then you'll be able to honor other people's power of choice. You figured things out. You've been able to make good decisions. Okay, then other people will as well. Okay. In order to create more security and stronger boundaries, keep practicing love and trust of your divine self, and you'll be able to create more security and stronger boundaries. Create personal policies, creeds, standards for yourself, and then you will be able to attract the right kind of people. I have some essential oils I recommend. Rose oil, you can apply it over your heart. Okay, magnolia and geranium. These oils help you trust your divine self. Yes, you have the human side that makes lots of mistakes, and then there's this divine self that is sure, that knows where to go and what to do to help you find happiness, joy, and power again. Apply those oils on and you can soak in the bath so it can be absorbed in. Apply it often and smell it often. All right, it will help you develop a stronger character and feel more secure about yourself. When you have developed a stronger identity, then your boundaries will be stronger. You know when to say no. Please allow me to share some of my personal policies, creeds, and standards. It's very important for us to do this activity so we can discover more about ourselves. Then we can communicate that with other people. And as you move forward, the more firm you are in honoring your standards, the more it reflects your self-respect and self-love. It's not stubbornness, okay? It's about self-respect. And it shows the depth of the testimony of your divine nature, okay? How much you know and respect your divine nature. So I say, I have high standards in health, wellness, mental clarity, and spiritual unity. So these things are important to me. So I do all I can to have great health, and I will invest what I need to invest, time and resource and money, okay, in creating this. So this is very valuable to me, right? I value families, communities, and sisterhood. I like orderliness, cleanliness, and simplicity. I like honest, clear communications as much as possible, as much as we're personally developed. I find value in civility, loyalty, mutual respect, honesty, and fairness. I have a low tolerance for rudeness and drama. I value work, education, knowledge, intelligence, and wisdom. I find solutions. I love finding solutions. I don't want to be the girl that says, oh, I can't, I don't know. Okay, I will make sure that I see the challenge for what it is, and I truly believe that most challenges are solvable. I value joy, play, rest, and solitude. I didn't value this once upon a time, but I learned this. So as you go, you will evolve and change and create who you want to be, okay? Even if you don't have amazing, wonderful role models around you, you can look for role models in history and in the world. And as you study these people, I hope you feel inspired by them and you can learn different nuggets of wisdom from them. From the Bible, we learn about Deborah, right? She was a prophetess who led 10,000 Israelites in war against the Canaanites. We hear about Joan of Arc, who was a peasant girl living in medieval France, and she would believe that she was chosen by God to lead France to victory against the English people. In modern day, we have Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was the Supreme Court Justice for 27 years. I read about Anne Winter. She's a journalist and editor for the Vogue magazine, and she's been doing that for almost 40 years. And she has a very powerful influence in the world of fashion. And they say that she has an aloof and demanding personality, and she knows how to sense the wind of change. Of course, you know Oprah Winfrey, an American talk show host, and she's very successful in what she does. When we study women like this, we can see how powerful and how strong they are in the face of challenges. We see how criticism is a blessing in disguise. These women honor themselves, and in the face of criticism and challenges, they still push through. It gives us hope that we can do the same, that we can shoot for the stars and fulfill our measure of our creation, the purpose of our being here. I hope you find strength in learning more about successful women in the world. Okay, learn from their tenacity and their wisdom. We've come to the end of this presentation. I know that there's a lot of information in this presentation. You may need to rewatch this video over again. But if you can just take one thing away and change one thing today, I would recommend that you change your self-talk. Tell yourself it's okay to be yourself. Tell yourself that you're a victor. And say, I am, and positive things about yourself. That's a good place to start. That shows that you've chosen to be empowered. So my friend, please keep track of your progress. Okay, journal and write down your thoughts and celebrate your success. If you need help, get support, you can contact me, book a time with me, and we can do a session. And I can help you identify some of the false beliefs and help you identify where you want to go and help you awaken to yourself. In my work, I help people strengthen their faith, help them own their own power more. And when you change and you heal, I hope you give praise to God, and I hope you enjoy the simplicity of the process of change. If you don't have a doTERRA wholesale account, please go ahead and get a wholesale account. Contact the person who sent this video to you and ask them to help you set up an account. Otherwise, I can help you set up an account. Contact me. It's just $35 one-time fee for the first year. It's $25 renewal fee after that, and you get a free peppermint oil valued at $27. This way you get to buy everything for 25% off below retail. The $35 membership fee is waived when you purchase a kit, so you can have a look at the different kits that are available there. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can join my community as we support women and help women be stronger and more empowered and happier. Please comment below. Tell me what you think of this video. Visit my website for more information. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like and friend me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much.